Okay. Okay. So, hi, my name is, you want to introduce me? You want to? Andrew, you want to introduce me or what?
Just one, just 1 second. Just 1 second. Uh, yeah, I'll introduce you. Record settings. Okay, we'll go. Yeah, this is Andrew Williams Jr., and today is July 2nd, 2026. And I'm pleased and proud to introduce Mr. Bruce Blechman with Entrepreneur Capital Corporation. And without further ado, go.
Hi, my name is Bruce Blechman. For the last 38 years, I've run and managed and started a company called Entrepreneur Capital Corporation that does just that, find capital for entrepreneurs. We work with thousands. We're probably way over 10,000 at this point. And we've helped them find capital. Up to this point, the beginning of this year, 2026, we decided why not create our own loan program? Let's do something different since we know who does what and how it works. Let's create a program for entrepreneurs, by entrepreneurs, involving entrepreneurs, and let's make it so that everyone who goes through the program gets the capital they need. And so we started this at the beginning of this year, and it's been extremely successful. We called it the first unsecured hard money loan for business. Now, has been hard money loan for the last 50 years is concerning real estate, which means it's an expensive loan, but it fits the parameters of a good real estate deal. People can't find the capital. Why not create one for the U.S. Companies and create it for early stage companies? Companies create it so it can be used to start a business, which it can be used for. Create it so it can be used to buy a business, which it can be used for. And finally, create it can help grow a business no matter how much debt they have. And that's what we've created, a new type of loan, the first time ever, a hard money loan for businesses. Now, I think the first thing is to tell you its advantages. I kind of read them off. First of all, you can raise up to $1 million, from 50,000 to a million. It is unsecured. There is no collateral. There's no equity, of course. It's a loan. No financial documents or tax returns needed. No proof of revenue. It is not merchant cash advance, which I believe is much too expensive for entrepreneurs nationwide. And it works in all industries, including pre-revenue. Um, and one of the best parts about it, 60% of the loan has no interest. So it is a loan with no interest, meaning that for every dollar you borrow, you pay back a penny. How can you beat that? So the 40% is lines of credit. So it's like the perfect combination for early stage companies or companies that desperately need capital to grow, or someone who wants to buy a business with no money down, which you can use all those things. So how do we create this? We decided, since we deal with all the banks, savings and loans, credit unions in the United States, what do they want? They want someone to come in with a company that the perfect client for banks. And by the way, banks love business accounts. That's why they're giving no interest in this program for 12 months. They can make much more money with a business account than they can, obviously, with a personal account because there's money flowing through that account. So we want to give banks exactly what they want. And what it is a company that's been around a little while. In our case, every client that goes through this program will get a company. It's called a shelf company. A shelf corporation is a corporation off the shelf that's been in business 3 to 5 years and has a perfect track record. Once you own that shelf, and you will, you can go to any bank in the United States and say, I'd like to borrow money. And they'll say, well, let me check your company. Oh, you've been in business 3 to 5 years. You have excellent credit. How much money do you want? But we want certain types of money. So we even improve that. And what we do is we bring someone aboard to your company that's part of your company that also has excellent credit. In fact, excellent credit today means a 750 FICO score or more. That person will be part of your company during the loan. So the combination is dynamite. Every bank will loan money to our clients. So what can you get and how do you qualify? Let's talk with startup companies. You can be pre-revenue and still borrow up to $1 million from us. But you have to be at the point of commercialization because this is a loan. You're going to need to start paying it back about 30 days after you get your first tranche. And it comes in 3 different tranches, and I'll get into that. So if you're at commercialization, which means you're within months, say even up to 6 months, and you know you will have revenue, then that's who we're looking for in startups. It can't be, oh, I got a great idea. It's going to take a couple of years. Who knows? That's not for us. But if you're very close to getting revenue, almost, you built your product and service, you tested it, people like it, and they say to you, hey, when can I buy this product or service? That's when you can get money from us. Let's say another use of this is you want to buy a company, you want to buy a franchise, you want to buy something that's profitable, and you just don't have the capital. You can borrow 50,000, 150,000, $250,000, $500,000, up to $1 million, and even more from us to buy that company. Now, what are we looking for? You should be buying a profitable business or a successful franchise. You should have some knowledge and background to be able to run it. Those 2 combinations, we can give you the capital. And the third major use is all the companies in the United States who have borrowed so much money, whether it's merchant advance or nice loans like SBA loans, but they can't grow anymore unless their only choice is they can't borrow anymore. They're at their limit. Their only choice is to bring in investors. Well, now they have another choice. We can give you money, again, up to millions of dollars. Why? Because you're going to be owning a company that's separate from your company that has excellent credit, has no debt in it yet, and any bank will lend to it. So we're creating a little bank for you. That's really what we do. This bank can finance your dreams, and no one has ever done it before. Um, so it's an exciting program, and I want to offer to anyone watching this video, and they should come to us, and we'll help them get capital. And that's just a quick version. So what do you think, Andrew?
I am excited. And what I'm hoping you'll allow me to do right now is just the two of us here. But I have something called Conversations with Andrew Williams Jr. And I
Okay.
launched this back in 2013. And I interviewed people like you, Bruce, but I also interviewed people that were doing excellent and marvelous work in the community that people didn't know about. So just yesterday, I decided I'd begin on a daily basis at 6 o'clock in the morning, live streaming events for a prayer call of all things. And what I've determined to do now is add another component. And I'd like to get your permission to repackage this and broadcast it to my Facebook Live group. And
Sure.
what I do there is then I stream it to 2 different platforms. One is called Universal Citizens Media Network, and the other is called TRN International News, Bruce. So the idea is to build a worldwide audience for the content I bring to the table. And part two of this is, of course, is very personal because since I'm sponsoring this, I do want to let people know I likely will benefit from those people that decide they want to work with Bruce Blechman. I want to
Sure.
make that perfectly clear. And so what I'm hoping to do, Bruce, is to just now, if I can, uh, share the guerrilla marketing uh, um, infographic that you sent over
Sure,
to
yeah.
me.
No, you can share that graphic. You can share the attachment any way you want. Now, let me tell you how you can make some good money on this, because that's the name of the game.
That's why we're here.
So, so we have really three loans. One we combine, which is about 150,000. The first loan is 50 grand.
Okay.
Um, in order to qualify, you need someone with about a 720 or more, something like that. Which is not much.
Okay.
They can get up to 50 grand, and they can get it in a day. So they come to us, and the next day they can get it. The
Wow.
terms the terms are extraordinary. Last one we got was 6 point something percentage. I mean, so that's a little loan, and we're calling it, the super loan. That's the beginning. The second loan is all credit cards, the stacking of the credit cards, which I'm sure you're familiar with, and that goes up to about 100,000. So you can apply for both and get up to 150,000 or get 40,000 or 50,000, depending on your credit. That is based on credit. So those are the first two loans. Now, the big program, which is, and that really is the name of the game, is the hard money business loan. And that comes in tranches of $250,000. So if you need $250,000, or you need $500,000, or you need 750,000, or you need $1 million, you're buying one tranche, two tranche, three tranche, four tranche. Um, all those loans come in three different payments. So if you want $250,000, in 4 weeks you get 80 grand. That's your first payment. 4 weeks later you get another 80 grand. It depends on what it is. But at that point you've got basically 160,000, something like that. Um, and it's all credit cards. So your payments are 1%. You borrow 100 grand, you pay a grand a month. So
Wow.
anybody can really afford that. You borrow 100 grand, you pay 100 grand, $1,000 a month. Anybody can afford that. Now we want to bring you lines of credit, not just credit cards. So that takes a couple months. So it'll be another couple months before you'll get another 80,000. So 4 months you get $250,000. And a lot of people do one or two things. They say, I could really use another one. So I'm going to take from the first 80 or the second 80 some money to start the second one. To start a program, it costs you 33,000 to start the program. So for 33,000, you get $250,000. You're basically 8 times your investment. How do you get the 33 grand? That's why we have the first two loans, the 50,000 loan and the 100,000 loan. And a lot of people say, "Oh, I can't get the 33. I don't have a good enough credit." Well, in 4 weeks, 5 weeks, you'll have 80 grand in your pocket once you start the program. Have a friend or relative who's got good credit get that loan for you, little one, pay him back. You're going to get the money, pay it back. So that's how people do it. Or there are people coming to us now who want a lot and they want it quick. So if you want like $1 million and you want it very quick, 4 tranches, it only costs you 25,000 per quarter. So you give us 100 grand, and in 4 months we'll give you $1 million. That's 10 times your money. That's financial leverage. This whole concept is based on financial leverage. Now, we have a guy who came to us recently. He wanted 2.5 million, but I think he got his money somewhere else. But we could have done it. We were very close to that. And I think eventually people will figure out how to do that. And we've got a couple people going through now for $1 million. So they jumped into it. Smart people can look at this and say, wow, it's expensive. Yes. For every $250,000, you're actually borrowing 350,000. So it costs you 100 grand. It's hard money, but if you know what to do with the $250,000 and your first year payback is so unusual, hardly anything, then by the second year it becomes a normal loan. You better be able to show us you can handle paying this back. And that's the program, really.
Well,
We give you a shelf corporation. We put someone in your company until the loan is paid off who has excellent credit. We handle all that. You just prove to us that you can make money with money. And if you can show that, you'll get the loan. So it's by entrepreneurs, and entrepreneurs approve the loan, which is our team. You can't beat that. No one else has it in the country. We just really started to introduce it. We've been working on it since the beginning of the year. We've got our little brochure. You've got all the information. Here's what you make. For the little loan, whether it's 50,000 or 100,000 or 150,000, you make 2 points. For the big loan, per tranche, you make 5 grand. So for every $250,000, you're getting 5 grand. If you got a client like the guy that just gave us this client is buying $1 million. Actually, we got 2 of those going through now. Well, he made 20 grand off of one client. So there's a lot of profit in bringing these deals to us. So that's it.
That really is exciting to me. Now, I know in the I won't call it the real world. Let's call it the traditional world. If I were to, let's say, bring in someone that was interested in this, and I'd like to give them an incentive to work with me, because when I share this around the world, Bruce, I know people are going to come.
Let me tell you about the world.
Okay.
Any company, we can't do startups, but any company in the world can do this as long as they show us they have the ability. They have to have enough cash flow to be able to service the loan. I'm not talking the 2 little ones. I'm talking the big one where it's $250,000. They come to us and they say, look, Bruce, we got a good business. We're growing. We need capital. We want to get $500,000 or $250,000 or $1 million for you. The one who came to us for $2.5 million is buying a company in Romania, which he could, and they could do it. And that company was very profitable. So you can be outside the country. You can be in Canada. But the difficulty with those people is they need the 33,000 and they can't get that loan unless they have someone in the U.S. who would qualify for that loan. So that's the problem international. So if they can get 33,000, they can leverage it up as far as they want. It's not a bad deal. And it's successful. It's working. I'd be happy to work with you. Get the word out. Start bringing the clients. Here's the situation. When we first started this, we had the brokers try to explain it, and it's too difficult. All your job is to say to your clients, look, there's something new out there to raise money for entrepreneurs. It's a hard money loan. And you all know hard money is real estate. But no, this is the first hard money loan for businesses, and it's unsecured. If you look up ChatGPT right now, Andrew, and say, is there an unsecured hard money loan? It'll say, doesn't exist, but we created it. And if you're looking to start a business, buy a business, or grow a business, and you're a startup and you at the point where you're close to commercialization, you're very close to getting revenue, this might be for you. That's all you have to say. You say, Bruce, I'm going to send you a guy. Here's his name, phone number, email. Please contact him. And we do all the rest. That's it. You don't do anything more. Don't go into details. You can show the brochure, whatever you want. But you don't talk about it as in detail. You don't really have to. It's our job to do it. How's that?
Well, the only thing I ask is that if I can use this graphic that you have and just include my email address for the contact, I think that will allow me to be comfortable that people can contact me. I'll direct them to you, and we can take it from there.
Sounds good. No problem at all. No problem.
Well, I'm done. Anything else you'd like to share?
Well, I'm all for it. And bring them on. Simple as
Okay,
that.
great. Well, look, Bruce, thank you so much. I think we've done a masterful job here, and I look forward to working with and networking with you as soon as possible. Have a wonderful day.
You got it, buddy. Have a good weekend. Take
Well,
care, Andrew. Thanks. Bye-bye.